The fifth principle of quantum consciousness, dynamic equilibrium as nature's core design. 1. Balance is not stillness, it's motion managed. Most people imagine balance as stillness, a tightrope walker frozen mid-step, but in reality, balance is movement, constant intelligent adjustment. In the quantum field, everything stays in balance, not by holding steady, but by continuously recalibrating. Nature doesn't stop to regain control. It leans, shifts, oscillates. The same is true in human life. Emotional balance is not about being neutral all the time. It's about knowing when to rise and when to fall, when to speak and when to listen, when to push and when to yield. 2. Homeostasis in the body mirrors quantum harmony. Your body is a daily miracle of dynamic equilibrium. It balances pH levels, blood sugar, temperature, not by locking them in place, but by adjusting with every heartbeat. When you run, it cools you. When you fast, it adapts your metabolism. When you stress, it releases cortisol, then finds its way back. The moment your system loses this ability to adjust, illness follows. Health isn't stasis, it's responsiveness. Your body teaches what quantum equilibrium looks like, constant micro-movement towards centeredness. 3. Human behavior. Overcorrection as a sign of misalignment. In emotional life, people often swing between extremes, overachieving, then burning out, giving too much, then withdrawing completely. These are signs that dynamic equilibrium is missing. A conscious person doesn't let the pendulum swing too far before realigning. They sense the imbalance early. If they're overgiving, they pause. If they're overthinking, they ground. If they're overplanning, they surrender. The goal isn't to never lose balance, it's to lose it consciously and recover quickly. 4. Conflict resolution as rhythmic repair. In relationships, the healthiest couples aren't those who avoid conflict. They're the ones who know how to repair rhythmically. One person gets triggered, the other steps back, then they switch. They speak, listen, reflect, reset. Dynamic equilibrium means both partners are attuned to each other's shifts and they adjust without collapsing into chaos. They don't cling to perfect harmony. They co-create fluid balance through responsiveness. The relationship becomes not a battlefield of static roles, but a dance of conscious recalibration. 5. Example, the entrepreneur and the cycle of creative flow. Consider an entrepreneur launching a new project. In the masculine phase, they are driven, building, promoting, executing. But too much of this and the system overheats. If they ignore the need to rest, reflect, or recalibrate, burnout arrives. Dynamic equilibrium would mean recognizing the need for pause, a weekend away, meditation, creative play, then the system resets, innovation returns. This principle isn't about slowing down, it's about knowing the rhythm required for longevity. Without the in-breath, the out-breath collapses. 6. Spiritual practice, integration over intensity. Spiritual seekers often chase peaks, mystical experiences, deep insights, ecstatic states. But growth isn't found in the highs, it's found in the integration, the daily balance of insight and embodiment, silence and action. A person who meditates for hours but neglects their relationships is out of balance. One who serves everyone but never rests becomes resentful. Dynamic equilibrium is the sacred middle path, not in passivity, but in rhythmic intelligence. Enlightenment is less a lightning strike, more a continuous alignment. 7. Mental health as the mastery of rebalancing. An anxious mind tries to plan everything. A depressive mind tries to escape everything. But mental health isn't the absence of pain, it's the ability to shift perspective, to find middle ground, to pivot. Dynamic equilibrium gives rise to resilience. When someone learns to breathe through panic or find small joy in despair, they're not faking balance, they're creating it. They're honoring the truth that the mind, like nature, needs movement, not perfection, to heal. 8. Parenting through responsive adjustment. Good parenting is a constant act of recalibration. When the child is hurt, the parent soothes. When the child becomes entitled, the parent reasserts boundaries. When one approach stops working, a new rhythm is found. Dynamic equilibrium doesn't mean being the perfect parent, it means being a present one. Responsive, willing to shift tone, pace, or posture to meet what the moment calls for. This adaptability teaches the child more than rules ever could. It models how to live in alignment with life itself. 9. The mastery of rhythmic living. To embody this principle is to become rhythmically intelligent, to no longer fight the tides, but to surf them with precision. Life stops being a battlefield of extremes and becomes a fluid terrain of motion-managed grace. You sense the turn before the tide shifts. You act, then retreat. You rest, then rise. You become like nature, not fighting for balance, but moving with it. In quantum consciousness, equilibrium isn't a goal, it's a way of being. Not in stillness, in sacred adjustment, not in control, in creative response.